didn't sacrifice his life just so we can live paycheck to paycheck and struggle. One of the biggest financial mistakes we can ever make, because I'm in this, is buying too much house. How many of us are there right now that as soon as we get the check, 80% of it, 75% of it is gone? And then I get people to hit me up. Oh my God, God approved me for a mortgage. Oh my God, he approved me. I got approved. Now God, send me the money to pay for the mortgage that you approved. What? But if I sit here and I give a young lady who I'm dating all my resources and I'm not sticking to the budget, she is robbing from my future wife.
All right, family, let's have a real conversation here real quick before we get back to today's show. We're about to move into 2025, and as we're moving into 2025, I want you to really and seriously think about this. If something happened to you today, would your family be financially secure tomorrow? One goal you may not have on your resolution list, but absolutely should, is life insurance. And Ethos, my friends, can make it very simple for you. You see, with Ethos, you can get a quote, a free quote, in seconds, apply in minutes, and in most cases be covered the same day. It's 100% online, no medical exams, and super affordable. For me, this isn't just about insurance. It's about building generational wealth and protecting the ones we love the most. Think about your kids, your spouse, your parents, your loved ones. Ethos makes sure that they will not struggle financially when you pass. Whether it's covering mortgage, replacing lost income, or helping your kids achieve their dreams, life insurance is your way to create a legacy. I don't want you to wait until it's too late. The sooner you sign up, the more affordable it is. Head to the link below to get your personalized free quote, protect your family, and start building your legacy with Ethos today. Listen to me, family. Look at me before we get back to today's show. Go to anthonyoneal.com/life insurance. Get a free quote today. It will take you minutes. That could change the rest of your loved one's life. I promise you. Go to anthonyoneal.com/life insurance. Just click the link in today's show notes. All right, let's get back to the show.
Hey, yo. What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony ONeal. Welcome back to the table. And today we're going to be diving into a crucial, and I mean this, a crucial conversation about money mistakes that could cost you millions over a lifetime. I'm super excited today because this is a subject that's passionate to me personally. Here's why. Because I've made some dumb money decisions in my past that I know have cost me millions. It's not the big, flashy decisions that drain wealth for most people. It's often the small, everyday choices that compound over time and over time and over time. The thing is, financial mistakes aren't always obvious, but they do add up. And if we're not careful, they can rob us of our future. Now, here's the reality. I want you to dive in and come in with me a little bit, right? Did you know that nearly 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 inside of their emergency funds? Let me say it one more time. Nearly 70 people, the exact number is 69.3%. So nearly, I'm gonna round up to 70. 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved for their emergencies. I had the opportunity to speak in Richmond, Virginia here about, I would say about 2 months ago, about a month ago. And while I was out there signing my book and selling some of our wealth conversation cards, a young lady said, "Can I whisper something in your ear?" And I was like, man, I hope she don't try to holler at me or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't going to go down. And I said, but yeah, sure thing. And she comes in and she starts crying. And she said, I am 50 years old and I just saved $1,000 for the first time ever in my life. And she was crying and she was excited because she put $1,000 inside of her emergency fund. She came back out and I looked at her and I held her by her shoulders because I was about to give her a hug and congratulate her. But before I hugged her, I said, and now you're ahead of nearly 70% of American people. And here's the thing, many of us don't even realize that the money we waste on avoidable mistakes could instead be invested. We can grow the money that we're just throwing away, and we can grow that into 6 and even 7 figures over a period of time. Her $1,000 is not going to grow into this 7 figures, no. But if she puts it inside of a high yield savings account, which we're going to talk about today, it could grow month after month after month because you're making the right decision on top of the right decision, and you're going to get compound rewards for it. Here's another shocking fact that just bothered the heck out of me. A recent survey found that over 60% of people regret buying too much house or investing in a big purchase early on, which has kept them from financial freedom. Y'all, I've been there. I remember when we were shooting at the house, I remember taking my whole team to look at the land that I just purchased and how I was about to build this big old $3 million house on this thing. And I was about to scream. So in today's episode, we're talking about 5 critical mistakes that might seem small today, but it will cost you millions tomorrow. I'm gonna say this one more time. It might seem small today, but it will cost you and I, me included, millions over a period of time. So whether it's buying too much house, delaying investing, not earning interest on your savings, buying that dream car too soon, or simply not running the numbers each of every single month, these mistakes can prevent you from achieving the wealth and financial freedom you deserve. Yes, I said it. You deserve to have financial freedom. You are the son and the daughter of God who owns it all. He did not send us down here to live paycheck to paycheck, to be burdened. No, he didn't come down here to die for your sins. John 10:10 says what? I came so that you may have life and have life more abundantly. So he came so that you can have life. Life is freedom. And that you can have life in abundance. No, when we may not have everything that we want, but God didn't sacrifice his life just so we can live paycheck to paycheck and struggle. So in today's show, I don't need y'all to fast forward. I need you to stick with me as we break down each one of these pitfalls, and most importantly, how to avoid them. So I'm going to talk about what they are, but we're also going to address how do we avoid these mistakes. And if I'm going to keep it a buck, you guys, I've made some of these mistakes that if I could go back, man, I would change a lot of these. So listen, I'm extremely excited about today's show. As we jump into these 5 things, man, I need y'all to do me a favor. We are almost at 1 million subscribers here on YouTube. We're almost at 150,000 per episode on podcasts. Man, y'all, next year is going to be a phenomenal year. I don't know what's going on. When things start happening in my life personally, in our business life, that may not be as positive, it's just a sign that we are doing something well, and that I need to start making pivots personally or within the business and start doing things, because I believe God is just repositioning this company and myself to go to the next level. And I don't know what that next level is, but here's what I do know is that we're just only going higher. Next year, I am determined to get 500,000 to 1 million people starting their debt-free journey and becoming debt-free. And I want you to be a part of this community. I want you to join the E3 community where we are expanding in abundance, wellness, and freedom. So can you do me a favor and can you hit that subscribe button? Can you join this movement? Can you be a part of this journey? So hit that subscribe button, share this with a friend, and y'all check out this quick commercial in regards to my new book that's coming out January 14th. Check it out. Hey, yo! The noise, it's distracting. It's pulling me away from my purpose. And I need to make a change. Enough is enough. The hardest part is taking the first step. But on the other side of fear is freedom. It's time to take your seat at not just the table, but the head of the table. You see, abundance, wellness, and freedom are within reach. Embrace your purpose. It's your table. It's your life. It's your time. Does the world ever get so loud that it's hard to even think? Your purpose is calling, but you can't seem to hear it through all the noise until right now. It's time to take your seat at the table. What's meant for you will never miss you. But first, it's time to step into your power, own your purpose, and reach your God-given potential. All right, let's get straight into it, you guys. Make sure y'all get the book. Let's get into number one. Here's number one that I wish I could go back and change myself. Number one is a lot of us are buying too much house. I'm gonna be honest with you. A mistake that a lot of us get out. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna buy my dream home. Oh my God, I got approved for a loan. Listen, one of the biggest financial mistakes we can ever make, because I'm in this, is buying too much house. We've been told that owning a home is a cornerstone of financial success, but it's easy to get carried away with a big mortgage. Studies show that over 60% of homeowners, of African-American, actually not African-American, all Americans, United States of American people, homeowners who bought in the past decade regret spending as much as they did on their homes, saying it left them strapped and unable to save or invest. You see, when you buy too much house that you can afford comfortably, you're tied down by monthly payments that eat up a big chunk of your income. This is money that could be used going into your savings, eliminating debt, investments, or even other wealth building activities. Imagine you're spending an extra $500 each month on a bigger home over 30 years. That's $180,000 loss if it was invested, not to mention the growth potential that the money had if it would have been invested. I remember when I was just came across my money. I had just paid off all my debt. I just put about, 6 months into my emergency fund, and I just stacked, some money up to put down towards a down home. I was living in Brentwood, Tennessee at the time, and I was in a 1-bedroom apartment in a beautiful apartment complex. Rent was $1,585 for. Was it $1,585? Yeah, it was 15. Yeah, it's $1,585 for this 1-bedroom. It was about 1,100 square feet. There's a 1-bedroom with an office apartment in Brentwood, Tennessee. And I said, all right, man. So I'm out of debt. You know what I'm saying? I got fully funded emergency fund. I'm making well over 6 figures. I got my car paid off. I got all this stuff, man. I'm about to go get me a house. So I said, man, I'm gonna go do this thing. At the time, I'm gonna be honest with you all. I was in a relationship, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna buy her this house. I'm gonna build her a house. And it was just me and her. And I was like, I'm gonna build. So I drove all the way out to the country and I built this 4,000 square foot home. My mortgage on it was $1,400. It wasn't bad, but it was about 45 minutes outside of Nashville, outside of the main city. And it's just me. A 4-bedroom with the office on an acre land, or I'll say about a quarter. I mean, I'll say acre. I'll say a little under an acre land. I got this big old house. Watch this. The payment wasn't bad because the payment was honestly right around what I was paying for rent. But I had way too much house. Way too much house. That I could have built something a little bit smaller, or I could have moved into a townhome and my mortgage payment would have been much cheaper. And I'll never forget, I'm walking around this house, my electricity bill is high, my utility bill is high. I'm like, man, what would I do? My very first investment into real estate was way too much house. It was just me. Why do I need 4 bedrooms? No, I should have just got a townhome with 2 bedrooms, me and a guest bedroom, or me and an office, right? Or something like that, something smaller. Because what I could have done then is evolved from there, grew from there. I could have rented that out to somebody. Then I could have used that money to go buy something else, and I could have gradually grown into your dream home. Let me tell you what your dream home needs to be when you first start. a home that you can afford and that you can build out of. Now, let me go to the practical part of this, because I think a lot of you may be saying, Anthony, I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to the money part, what do I need to be aiming for? Good question. I need you to stick to spending no more than 25 to 30% of your take-home pay, your net pay, on housing. So this means, let's do the math here. Let me pull out my phone. This means, all right, if you make, let's say for an example, $5,000 a month, times that by let's say 30%, that means that your mortgage payment should be no higher than $1,500 a month. Oh, Anthony, this market is too high right now. You crazy. Well, how am I going to get, man, interest rates at 6%. Okay, go get a home that fits that budget. Why in the world do you want to be, watch this, getting paid? Oh, and I've been here. I'm about to expose myself. Let's go with it, Ayo. I done grown from this. I remember when I first moved to Jacksonville, Florida, I was a youth pastor. I was making $1,100 every 2 weeks. That was my check. That was my net pay. When I got the apartment, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was out of debt, but watch this. Man, my rent was $950. My rent was $950, all right? So if I'm making $2,200 a month, divide that into, how do you do that math? Into 2, that's 1,100. So that means I'm at 40%. 40% of my check was going towards rent. So this means when I got the check on Friday for $1,100, I had to spend $950. This means I have $150 to my name to go to the next one. How many of us have been there? And watch this. How many of us are there right now? That as soon as we get the check, 80% of it, 75% of it is gone. And a lot of it is gone because we got this real nice house. We got this real nice apartment complex. Man, I got young people who I'm mentoring who paying $3,000, $4,000 a month on rent in Cali. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And then I get people to hit me up. Oh my God, God approved me for a mortgage. Oh my God, he approved me. I got approved. Now God, send me the money to pay for the mortgage that you approved. What? No, people. No, listen. You do know that mortgage companies, they don't approve you on net. They approve you based on your gross income, not your net income. They don't account for taxes, insurance, or any other deductions that are coming out of your check. They don't account for, brothers, your child support check that comes out of your check. They don't account for any other health insurance bills or investments you have coming out of your check. No, if you tell them I make $5,000 gross, they're going to give you an approval off of $5,000 gross. I'm sorry, people. You can call me out. This can go viral. But if you can't afford the house, God didn't bless you with the house. Because God is not going to sit here and hear a prayer from you every single month. God, I need to pay this bill. No, God gave you the financial resources to go live your life. You got to live within the means that he gave you. But at the end of the day, we make our financial decisions of what we can actually do. And we need to make these financial decisions, especially when it comes to our housing and our living, based upon what hits our bank accounts, not what's on paper. You see, keeping your mortgage and keeping your rent within less than 30% of your net pay allows you enough breathing room for other goals like investing, saving, and enjoying life without feeling financially squeezed. Remember, y'all, there's no rush. There's no rush to get into the real nice apartment complex, the real nice houses. Man, if I can go back to when I was 30 and I bought my first house, man, I would have bought a condo. I would have bought a townhome, and maybe in a rebuilt area that didn't cost me as much money. And I would have started small and then grew. You know why? Because by now I could probably have 10 rental properties up underneath me. Because if I would have started small, I could have got that right, put a person in there, boom, come over here, take that money, put over here, boom, build that up, and then boom, come over here. But no, I went for the gusto. I went for the big boy. I could have put more money into my investment accounts. I could put more money into land. I could have put more money into my savings account because I knew that eventually I was going to be transitioning. I could have positioned myself better, but it goes back to this. And we got 4 more things within the next 12 minutes that I got to get to because I'm trying to get y'all to a 30-minute show, but I get so passionate about this message. Come back to the next show. Let me get to number 2. Here's number 2, not getting interest on your savings. Now, this one is a sneaky one because a lot of us think having our money in a regular savings account is safe. And let's be real. It is safe because it does protect us from the market going down, right? But it's not safe from this perspective of growing, right? I needed to grow. I need my money to grow. And to be honest with you, like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I've preached on this a lot. With inflation, our money should be following inflation. Inflation is right around 3 to 4% annually. And if your money is sitting in a regular savings account earning about 0.43%, you're actually losing purchase power every single year. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you keep $10,000 in a traditional savings account for 5 years. If inflation rises by 3% each year, that money will only buy what $8,650 could today. Says one more time. Okay. If you put $10,000 in the account and inflation rises 3% every single year, then the next 5 years, that same $10,000 could only buy what $8,650 could buy today. But by switching to a high yield savings account with the rate around 4%, you're fighting back against inflation and your money is working harder for you. So here's the solution, because I think some of you all are slipping on this and I need you to do this today. More of you need to move your emergency fund and other savings account into a high yield savings account that gives you at least 4% to 5% interest. I personally use my friends over at SoFi and they're giving me right around 4.4%. It is right at 4%, 4% a month on my money. What I love about them is a lot of you all are in shopping mode for Christmas. And what they're doing for the month of December, I don't know if they're going to do this in the month of January. So if you're watching this in January, I don't know. You got to go to the website and see. But for the month of December, if you open up a savings account and a checking account with them and you give them a direct deposit, they're going to put $300 inside of your bank account before Christmas. So watch this. Anthony, what do you mean? I already have direct deposit going to my bank account and I can't mess that up. Cool, great. Go inside of your HR department, teach you how to get this free $300 and a 4% payout. Go to your HR department and tell them, or go on your hub. Like my company, we use a company that my team members can go in there and say, hey, I want to put 40% of my paycheck into this account and 40% into that checking account. Cool, great. You need to do the same thing so you can get this free $300 and a 4% on the interest rate. Go in and move and keep 80% going towards your regular account, but then move 20% into your SoFi account for direct deposit into the checking account. Then from there, take the checking account and then have them automatically move that into your high yield savings account. You never have to touch anything, but just one time saying, hey, boss, hey, company, hey, job, keep 80% going to this account. I want to put 20% going into this account. Boom. And then automatically SoFi move 5%, 10% into this account, right? Now you're getting a high yield. You got a free $300 for this month to help you go towards your Christmas shopping, and you're getting the 4%. All you got to do is go to anthonyoneal.com/savings or check the link inside of today's show notes because I'm telling you right now, this is going to definitely help you for your savings goal. But like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I'm always talking about high yield savings. But we cannot afford to miss out on getting extra money. This is extra money. I've said this before. Man, my savings account now generates me about $400 to $500 a month, depending on, the interest rate of that month. And that's money that I let compound. But whenever I do go out on a date, that's the money that I use to pay for the date. So this way, if the date goes wrong, technically it is my money, but technically SoFi gave me that money because I let my money sit there. So technically SoFi paid for the date. And so I'm telling you, man, I use my money wisely. Here's number 3. Thinking you have time to invest. This is costing us millions. And this is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about building wealth, okay, is that they have all the time in the world. I don't have to start investing until I'm 40 or 50 years old. I don't have to start taking my life seriously until then. But let me tell you, family, time is the most valuable factor when it comes to wealth building because of something called compounding. Here's a simple example. If you start investing $100 per month, let's just say at the age of 25. If you're 25, comment in the chat, let me know you're 25. By age 65, if you had put $100 per month, you could have around $500,000 with a decent return. But if you wait until you're 35, that same investment only grows to about $250,000. Waiting just 10 years cuts your potential in half. And the longer you delay, the harder it is to catch up. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to start now. Even if you're drowning in debt and you're at the stage of eliminating your debt, if your company is offering a 401k match, I want you to put the match in there. For an example, if they're matching 2% of your paycheck, I want you to put 2% of your paycheck inside the 401k and do nothing else. Do nothing else. Let's say, Anthony, 2% is too much. I want you to start small. Put $100 or whatever you can each month into your account, right? The earlier you begin, the more time you give your money to grow. I don't want you to think about the small things, or I don't know, Anthony, no. I need you to start investing today. Think about the hundreds and the hundreds and the hundreds of thousands of dollars it can grow into over a period of time. This is crucial, and this is important that you have to dive into. No, I am not telling you if you're paying off debt to go out there and max out all your retirement accounts. No, what I am saying is if you are in debt, go ahead and do up until the match or invest a minimum $100 a month so you can get $200 a month growing. And I feel led to say that. If you put $100 in, your company is going to give you $100. Now you're getting compound interest of about 8 to 10% on $200 rather than 8 to 10% on $100. Or rather than 8 to 10% on $0. You feel me? So I'm going to take advantage of that. Now, if you are out of debt and you've built your fully funded emergency savings account, I need you to go ahead and max out that 10 to 15% every single year. Every single year. That's what the wealthy people are doing. We are figuring out how do we make our money work for us. That's the key. All right. That is the key. Here's number 4. Is that's buying your dream car too early. Let's talk about dream cars because y'all, I love dream cars. You all know that. I'm blessed to drive 2 of my dream cars that I paid cash for. All right. I got the slips at the house in the safe. We all have that one car we would love to drive. But buying it too early can be a wealth trap. The minute you drive a new car off the lot, it appreciates immediately by 30%. In 5 years, it's worth only half of what you paid for. That's why buying a luxury car early on is a sure way to drain your wealth. Listen, you all know my story, man. I have dream car seasons, if that makes sense. So I've always said, man, my dream car in this season is a BMW. Man, my dream car in that season is a Porsche. Man, my dream car in this season is the Bentley, is a Lamborghini. And my dream car in my 50-year-old season is a Rolls-Royce big boy truck, right? It's the Rolls-Royce big boy truck. As a matter of fact, man, I rented one for my father's, for my Cali dad's birthday to surprise him, because that's his dream car. And so I was able to chauffeur him around there. I don't know if we could put a picture up, Ed. I think that'd be pretty dope if we can. But man, it was just beautiful, right? But I've seen people who, because they wanted that BMW or that Benz in their 20s, end up with high payments, pricey insurance, and maintenance costs that add up. Imagine spending $700 a month on a car payment, because that is the average car payment of a new car today, $723. That's over $42,000 in 5 years. What if you had invested that money instead? You'll be well on your way to buying that car and building wealth. That's exactly, you guys, what I did. I stuck with an affordable, well, no, let me pause and tell the truth here. I was that 20-year-old who bought the BMW. Why did I buy it? Because my mom and dad had it. My mom and dad had a 5 Series. I was like, shoot, I can afford a 5 Series too. I'm making $10,000 a month. But I wasn't budgeting. And I went out there and bought a BMW. And can I tell you something, y'all? I bought a BMW that was, it had water malfunctions in it. It came from like what they call like a flood zone. And it was flooded and they repaired it and sold it to me. And I had so many issues with that daggone car. When I woke up and said, what the heck am I doing? Man, I got rid of that car, y'all. And I went and got me an Acura TL. A reliable, an affordable Acura TL. And I drove it until I was financially ready to step up to the next season of my life. I remember going on dates and young ladies saying, hey, man, like, you're Anthony ONeal. Why? How come you ain't got AC? And I'm like, because it's free. I got AC. It's called free air. I'm not saying y'all, you need to do it. But when you're focused and determined on reaching a goal, man, the car should be the last thing you're worried about. Yes, you need reliable transportation. Yes, you need AC. Yes, you need heat. I guess because I'm a man, and at that time, it was like in the later cool season. So like it was cold at night, then a little hot during the day, but then cold in the evening. I was like, man, I'm straight. The heat work and the AC, I ain't worried about it. But you got to focus on reaching certain financial milestones first, right? Before you start getting to your dream cars, you got to focus on paying off your debts. You need to focus on saving 3 to 6 months of your net pay. The dream car will still be there. The BMW, Mercedes, whatever your dream car, Bentley, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, whatever that is, your dream car will still be there. But you'll be able to afford it without sacrificing your financial future. And let me be honest with you, man, drive that Honda. Man, the way, can I be honest with y'all? I'll be honest with you. I was sitting in my Bentley the other day, and I love it. I will never get rid of my Bentley. I love my Bentley, right? It's paid for. So even if the world stopped today, and let's say I had to get a job, I'm pulling up to my job in the Bentley. It's paid for. But when I look at the Bentley, when I'm sitting in the Bentley, one of my students that I'm mentoring, he just bought a Honda Accord. He bought a 2023 Honda Accord. It's beautiful. And when I sat inside the car, it has Bluetooth, it has heated seats, it has a radio, it has leather, it has nice things. And I'm like, the only difference between the cars is not technology. It's just the small nuances that Bentley will put into niching the seats and how they do the dashboard and maybe the engine. But y'all, I haven't really driven neither one of my cars to its full potential engine-wise. So I'm not a fast driver. So what am I saying? You're not really missing out on too much. So don't rush to get to your dream car when you have a reliable car that's getting you from point A to point B to point C to point D. It may not be the style that you like, but you'll get there. It's not worth it. Trust me. I'm in it now. And I'm like, like if I was making payments on it, I'm like, yeah, I can trade this in and get something a little bit different. Because there's really not much different when it comes to technology. All right. Which leads me to the last thing that a lot of us do not do. And I did not do this when I was in my 20s. Because I think a lot of people get these cars and get houses because they're not running the numbers, AKA you're not budgeting. This is the last common mistake that catches a lot of us up. And it gets us it takes us away from the goals that we have. By not running the numbers, you are putting yourself in a position to not steward your money well. Without a budget, it's an easy way to lose track of your money, overspend, and miss out on savings goals. Stats are showing that only about 32% of Americans have a budget. So this means nearly 60% of us watching this show right now do not have a budget. They're hoping. They're going up to the grocery store hoping the debit card would get approved, hoping their credit card would get approved. That they're going into, online hoping that this thing would happen. I remember those days walking up to the gas station, and I'm telling y'all my age. Y'all already know I'm 40, but I remember the days when we can go to the gas station and they authorize $1. And I will hope that will go through. Hope isn't a strategy for building wealth. Let me say it one more time. Hope, guessing, is not a strategy for building wealth. Think of budgeting as your money map. It tells you where every single dollar should go. So you're not left wondering, watch this, so you're not left hoping. By budgeting, you can identify areas where you might be overspending and redirect those dollars toward your savings and investment goals. I want you to start simple right now before the new year comes. And this is why, if you're still watching this to the end, I am going to be helping you all with this on my free webinar that's happening December 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I'm going to give you the strategy that wealthy people are using to build wealth. These are not just my strategies. These are strategies that I'm seeing throughout a lot of wealthy people, and they track their income and expenses. Even if it's just a rough estimate at first, at least you have something on paper to really help you understand, okay, cool, I'm here. But you got to use tools like my wealth tracker tool that's on my website. Go to anthonyoneal.com/store. You can get it for like $10. This thing, if the wealth tracker tool breaks down your finances, you can see exactly where your money is going, where your money is, how you're investing your money, what categories using the most of your money. This is one habit alone that could change the game for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Budgeting is not for the weak. Budgeting is not for the broke. Budgeting for the people who desire to win in life. I have no problem telling anyone I'm on a budget. I have no problem saying I can't afford to spend money over here. I can't afford to do this. You know why? Watch this. Let me tell you why. Because I can't afford to rob from my future wife. I can't afford to rob from my future. Oh, I'm about to teach on this one some more. Y'all got to come back to YouTube channel. I got to teach on this some more. Oh my gosh. I got to teach. I'm going to teach on this some more. Look for this somewhere on my show somewhere, y'all. Especially for us single people. This is going to upset some of the ladies. But if I sit here and I give a young lady who I'm dating all my resources and I'm not sticking to the budget, she is robbing from my future wife. She is taking everything that I should be saving and budgeting for my future wife. So then when I get to my future wife, I got to look her in the face and say, I was not prepared for you because all the other girls took what was yours. Oh my God. All the other girlfriends. Because I didn't have a budget, because I didn't stick to the vision and operate within my means. Every single dollar that I gave them, it robbed from you. Because I didn't have a budget, I didn't have a vision, and I was not bold enough to say, I can't afford to do that. And it's not that I can't afford it from a practical financial perspective. No, I can't afford to tell my future wife and my future kids no. Because I told them yes. Oh my gosh, I feel like teaching that one. I'm going to do another one. We got to go. Because I really want y'all to see the success story coming up with one of my good friends, Gwen, who is a part of our ICS, our Impact Creative Society member, and how she is making money. She's partnered with us, and we're teaching her how to take her story, how to take her brand, how to take her message, and help and serve other people in the financial space. She does the same thing like me. And she said, I don't want to make these mistakes, but I do need to make some more money. So y'all, check this out real quick. Check this out. Check this out. Check out her story. Hey, yo. All right, family, yo, listen, today's success story is coming from one of my dear friends who is inside of my community called the Impact Creator Society community, where Gwen is honestly winning. She's generating an extra $4,000 a month from a community doing something similar to me, helping people win with money. And I absolutely love it. And so I want to ask you a quick question, Gwen, and thank you so much for coming on. I want to ask you this. What made you want to get into the content creation space? And sub number 2 is, why did you join the Impact Creator Society program?
Yeah, so the Impact Creator Society came into my life at a really crucial time for me. I've been an entrepreneur pretty much all my life. I've always had a business. I've had various businesses, but the one that really made me kind of known for what I do is called Naturalicious. And that business, I grew to $20 million beyond.
Wow.
But then I started another business because I felt like I had the Midas touch, right? And I found out that I did not, and that business closed. That business left me with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And I was not somebody who, was out here buying all sorts of like Louis bags and taking crazy, frivolous, ridiculously expensive trips, or, you won't find a Prada, Gucci, nothing in my closet, right? I'm a Target, I'm a Shein girl, right? And so, for me to be in all this debt was like, this doesn't happen to somebody like me. And I think that's the narrative that we hear when people are in debt. It's like, oh, you are out here just being crazy. But I wasn't. I was trying to multiply and be a good steward of the money that God had given me with the first business. When I found myself in massive debt with this second business, I had also just lost my mother. She had just passed away. I had also gone through a terrible breakup. So I had all this loss in addition to a business being gone. And I was just asking God, what do you want from me? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Because clearly my purpose is not what I thought it was anymore. And I was searching for this answer. And I just so happened to start watching The Table with AO. And I got really familiar with that. And I started to find a way to dig myself out of this debt hole that I was in. One day, a friend of mine called me. I was crying on Instagram. And she said, Gwen, I saw your video the other day, but what is your plan? And I said, girl, I ain't got no plan. And so I was like, but you know what? All I know is that this situation is temporary and that I'm a winner and I'm gonna get out of this. So I started watching more of The Table. I started watching other financial things, and I found myself digging myself out of that hole. So much so that within about 8 months, I had paid off $147,000 of that debt.
Wow.
Within an 8-month period of time. And I started talking about that online. And people wanted to know, well, how did you do it? Tell me how I could pay off that amount in such a short period of time as well. And as a watcher of The Table, I started to get messages on Instagram from you. And one day, I think there was a post that you had made about a webinar. And I was like, well, I really like, what he talks about and everything. And, this has helped me get out of massive amounts of debt. Let me check out what his webinar is. And I checked on the webinar, and instantly I was just like, oh, I know how this works. I've been in business a long time. He about to sell me something at the end. So I went ahead and I watched it though. And I was floored at the cost of ICS. Honestly, I was expecting it to be like hundreds of dollars a month. And it was incredibly affordable. And I was like, you know what? I think this is God telling me what my purpose might be, because I had been wanting to start teaching people about how I got out of all that debt, how I had repaired my finances in a very short period of time. Built a sustainable, really, really good emergency fund, got out of all that debt, started investing again, just really rebuilding my life. And I watched the webinar, signed up for ICS that same day. And it's been off to the races. So I signed up in January.
Wow.
And I didn't post my first video though until May. Because I went through all of the courses that were a part of ICS. I think that's an amazing resource that a lot of communities don't have. Is to have like the courses that teach you step by step what to do. And I was taking notes. Anthony, I was writing stuff down. Like I was like, I'm about to make this thing do what it do. And I started making videos in May, and I was very close to monetization, or not close to monetization, but on YouTube, but I was finding ways to monetize my message beyond just YouTube.
Yeah.
And ICS really taught me that the community, having that community around me, having the weekly calls with everybody, having you pop in once a month with us to talk to us and pour into us, and having the rest of your team really pour into us and really, really care about helping us be successful has really helped me. So I ended up monetizing my channel prior to YouTube monetizing it. I created something called the Fix My Money Challenge.
Wow.
I made about $12,000 off of that.
Wow.
And that challenge parlayed itself into a community, which I now have called My Rich Friends. And now, I'm making about $4,000 a month with that.
Wow.
And it's only been in existence for like a month and a half, maybe 4 to 5 weeks I've had that. So it's just going to grow more. And I really have ICS to thank for all of that.
Hey, man. Well, this is why we wanted to bring you up, just to show people real life stories of how when you get involved with the community, with like-minded people who are desiring to be better, the fruit of that will happen. And I remember when you first came in, you showed up on the Wednesday night meetings. Every time I showed up there, you were there, you were involved, asking questions, engaging. And I think $4,000 a month is just the beginning for you. I think as you continue to build My Rich Friends and continue to do the things that you're learning in ICS, you're going to be easily making $10,000 a month and grow it into another 7-figure business. Only thing with this one is you just won't sell this one because it will be your baby.
Yes.
But I just want to just thank you for being a part of this community. You guys, we're going to put Gwen's information inside of the show notes. Check out her information, check out her stuff. And we're also going to put a link in to where you can join the ICS community as well. It's $67 a month. We're going to teach you. We have a great team that's doing some amazing things. You better come in there and talk with Gwen and some other of our people. It's very, very super affordable, like Gwen said. And our whole thing is we want to help you accomplish your goals, your dreams, and the assignment God has called you to accomplish. And so, Gwen, thank you so much for your time, for jumping on for a quick little segment for us to talk about your success. And anything else you want to leave with before we go into our next segment?
Just thank you for creating ICS. I mean, you have a whole business and a whole, team that you are focused on. I know this is like a separate thing. But I think one thing about communities is that to keep your community going strong, you have to provide more value than the price that they're paying.
Yeah.
And like I said, before I even joined ICS, I was like, this is gonna be like $200-300 a month, and it wasn't. It was 67. I was like, what? And so the value that I get, and I'm sure I can speak for my fellow members, the value that we get out of being in there is far above and beyond the price that we pay. So, I mean, I'm making, just starting out, $4,000 a month, plus I made a $12,000 challenge, and I pay $67. Like, the ROI on that is insane. So
that's massive. I'll take any tithe and offerings you need. Yo, we got to go to the next segment. Love you, sis. Right. Thank you so much for your time. Bye. Bye. Hey, yo. All right, so listen, y'all, man, Gwen's story is absolutely amazing. If you want to learn more on how you can be a part of our Impact Creator Society, man, it is absolutely amazing. I think it's right around like $67 a month. And what the team is doing over there is absolutely amazing. You got Michelle over there. You have CJ over there. You have Alex, my team, teaching you all how to do it. We're going to drop all of Impact Creator Societies and stuff inside of today's show note. Come join us. I mean, there's hundreds of people over there. We meet every single week. As a matter of fact, I got to meet with them tonight. On the day that we're recording this, I got to meet with them tonight. It's just a beautiful group of people who are coming to learn how to be impactful creators, not just influencers. We're teaching you how to be thought leaders and impactful people. While impacting people, you can make income. And so if you want to learn more information about that, we're going to drop that information. We would love to have you part of that community. But y'all, as we're coming to the close of today's show, listen, Christmas is coming right around the corner. If you're watching this, the day that this show was premiered and aired, I really want you to spend some time between now and between Christmas, and really write down and identify which one of these mistakes are you missing. And watch this. When you look at your account, your bank account, you're going to also see other mistakes that you're missing, and not missing, other mistakes that you are doing that I may not have listed in today's show. But the greatest thing we can do going into 2025, watch this, going into 2025, the greatest thing we can do is be honest with ourselves. If we're not honest with ourselves of here are the mistakes I'm making with my money, nothing is going to change in 2025. December of 2024 is about getting prepared for January 2025 so we can excel next year. So I want you to meet me on December 12th. December 12th. Is it 12th? Michelle? Ed? Is it 12th?
Yes.
Okay, December 12th. I want you to meet me there December 12th. You ain't got to edit it out. Keep it in there. They family. December 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we can dive in together and make a powerful year. All right. Yo, it's your boy Anthony ONeal. I've been on here for 9 minutes. Actually, I don't know how long I've been on here. I know I went over the time. I'm trying to get to 30 minutes for the year 2025. I'm trying to. So we can put a lot of information in a short period of time. So it can be a blessing. But yo, I'll see you in the next show. God bless you. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you before Christmas though, for sure. All right. Peace out.